9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hello, everyone. I'm constitutional attorney Catherine Henry. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 10 of Restore Freedom Weekly. This is Liberty Lori joining me, and we actually have a brand new special guest to bring on the show today. Some of you already know who she is, but many of you may not. So I guess actually without any further ado, I'm going to see if I can... special guest, are you good to go if I bring you in? Can you hear me okay? All right, so let's see. All right, actually, Lori, if you're good, I'm gonna.
Yeah, I'm fine. You can kick me out.
Okay. Just remember to jump back in if I'm not paying good enough attention to the chat and whatnot. Oops, then I messed that up. Okay, there we go. All right. So, okay. All right. Well, to those of you who are, first of all, those of you that are new to me, because we've had several thousand of you come over in the last few weeks, thank you. Welcome to our Restore Freedom work that we're doing and to our show that we do every week. We appreciate you subscribing and following and sharing and liking and supporting us in every way. Certainly, this is a freedom fighting effort that is a we the people thing, not a me the Catherine thing. So that is greatly appreciated. And to those of you who may just be stumbling across us as we're going live today, or maybe perhaps later finding us on one of our podcasting platforms or social media sites, please go ahead and take a moment to hit that subscribe button on our YouTube and Rumble channels, as well as signing up to get that notification when we do go live, so that you'll get that notification and be able to hop on board. Usually it's Tuesday at noon is when we do the lives, but every now and then there's something that comes up, and it's time to get the camera rolling, and you never know what you're going to find out, like what I did in November down here when Daytona Beach Shores police tried to act a little bit illegally and outside the bounds of their authority with me, as well as several times throughout the last few years that we've been doing this. So speaking of all of that, someone who is very used to holding a camera and trying to hold those law enforcement officers accountable and trying to bring the truth out to us, to we the people, is my new friend, Acura Amanda. And here she is today. Welcome, Amanda. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Catherine. I want to take the time before we begin to thank you for all of your hard work and effort. And I mean, Catherine is out here doing this all out of her own pocket, out of her own kind heart. And I cannot stress to you guys enough, go over to Catherine's channel, go subscribe, and what she does to restore freedom is just magnificent and selfless. Thank you so much for all of your efforts that you do, Catherine.
Well, thank you. And I'm not sure if it's going to affect the connection or not, but there's something weird about the audio that we're having. So if you do somehow have a bad connection that you get kicked out, try to click the link and we'll let you back in. Otherwise, Lori can always try to send a new link or something like that too. But just so you guys know, she doesn't normally sound like a robot. That's just the audio for today. So, Amanda, what is it? So one of the things that I do on this channel, on our website, on everything, my main mission in the last 3 years has been to educate people. I talk about new cases that are coming out, Supreme Court cases or statewide cases. I talk about ballot initiatives before Election Day so people know what to vote on. We talk about bills as they're pending in the legislature, mostly in Michigan and Florida, sometimes in other places. We talk about, hey, if the government is doing this particular thing to you, here's how you can fight back. And we've talked about doing appeals. We've talked about representing yourself in ordinance violation hearings, and just kind of all different steps and stages of things. But sometimes people still look to me as like, oh, well, this is easy for you. You're an attorney, you can represent yourself or do this kind of thing. You're better suited to hold our government officials accountable. Can you tell us first, what is your background? What is your day job, so to speak? What is your history? You're not an attorney, so tell us, who are you?
I do hope my audio is a little better. I am not connected to Bluetooth. I am on the road, however. I hope that's not what's causing it. But so a little bit about my background. The only criminal justice training that I've had was in high school. I was part of a criminal justice academy, and it was always my passion to become a defense attorney. I kind of left that behind and went on a separate path. I was in the automotive field at a very young age. And then proceeding forward, I was in the medical field from approximately 2013 to 2019. And I worked with a lot of dementia care patients, people with cancer. It was a very stressful job, but I really have a passion for helping people. That all changed in 2019. The very last job I worked was as a sober counselor, basically a recovery counselor, and it was my mission to help women in recovery. I didn't know anything about that industry. I didn't know what the 12 steps were. I didn't have anyone in recovery. It was all brand new to me, but what I did find was that there was a large-scale amount of fraud going on. And one of our patients tragically passed away because of their neglect, and I could not stay silent anymore. So at that point, I stuck a thumb drive in their computer, and I had boxes of evidence, and I took all of that to the Sober Home Task Force, and I became a whistleblower after that day. They wanted me to go in there with a wire. They wanted me to work with them to take them down, but I felt like my life was in danger. And I left my keys on the desk and my uniforms, and I never went back. And the Sober Home Task Force, the state of Florida, they did nothing to protect me or my family as a whistleblower. And because they were defrauding private insurance companies, not Medicare or Medicaid, so to say, I was not covered under the Whistleblower Act. So I had to fend for myself, and I had people following me that were hired by my former employer, who was a very wealthy man. And that was confirmed, and I was warned from people that were still working in there that were concerned for my safety. And from there, I installed cameras all over my vehicle, all over my home. I purchased a dog. He's a small dog, but he still has a big bark. And I was just, I was stressing. I lost my hair in the corner. Thank God it grew back. And I was at home. I didn't know what else to do. I started watching YouTube. And I stumbled upon, I believe it was James Madison Audits or Rogue Nation. And I was like, wow, these people are literally holding their government accountable. They're picking out the bad weeds in the garden. And I felt compelled that I was like, there has to be somebody in Palm Beach County that does this. And there was nobody here that did that. So I took it upon myself to do this. And that's how it all began. And I never knew that it would turn into this. I never knew that my channel would come this far, how much I would learn. I had no idea. And I'm very grateful for the disparities that has happened to me. Unfortunately, these people were collateral damage for the corrupt regardless of the corrupt sober home industry, my heart breaks for those women, and I still think about them every single day. But at the same time, I turned a bad situation into something positive. So
Awesome.
that's
Is there, you said you're connected to Bluetooth to something. Is it something that you could disconnect and reconnect the sound? I'm just wondering.
okay.
I just noticed there's quite a few comments in the chat about it, so figured I would see
I
if this.
turned my Bluetooth on just now, but I don't have Bluetooth on in my car. Can you hear me better now?
No, it's weird. It doesn't look like the video's affected very much. It's just you sound like a robot.
Try this.
Oh,
Am I still there?
oh, yeah.
Hold on. No, that's not gonna work.
Oh, we can't hear you at all right now. Yeah, it looks like it's muted or something. I know I've had to do several different shows in the car before, so it's always not fun when the technology or internet or whatever is not cooperating because you kind of are limited on what you could do. But are you able to get your? No, I can't hear you at all. The sound just is totally gone now. Okay. All right, guys. She is hopping off to hop right back on. So basically, for those of you who don't know Acura Amanda, as she's figuring out that volume and audio issue and coming back in, I just want to let you know. So she's someone that I believe we have her tagged and all that in the description of our video. But go ahead and hop over to her channel. She's got far more subscribers on hers than we do on ours, but if you don't already subscribe to hers, check her channel out, see what she does. There we go. Add her back in here. Can we hear you?
Is that better? Tell me.
Oh, yes, 100% better. Yes.
Hooray!
Yay, she's not a robot anymore, guys. So yeah, I was just telling them that you are, you're basically, one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on today is because we have more and more people that are trying to fight back, just saying enough is enough. And maybe it's to do with, masking in the workplace, or maybe it has something to do with, political signs in your yard, and the town cop is telling you you can't have those, despite what the First Amendment is specifically protecting, or with us and the city of Ormond Beach trying to come after and remove our privacy fence and our pavers and our 2 shipping containers. And just people are, how do I fight back? What do I do? It seems like about every single day I have people still asking me, even though my voicemail is set up and the website is set up to tell people I'm sorry, I simply can't take new clients. Every single day I get something from someplace where somebody's asking for help. Just today, I have somebody asking me to help them get a FOIA lawsuit started because a municipality is denying proper response to a request for public records. So at any rate, we all need to stick together. So for those of you who are catching this now or even later on a podcasting platform, go ahead, head over to YouTube. Go to Acura Amanda's page. If you do a quick search, you can find her. Otherwise, the link I'm sure Lori is putting, or even the Liberty Cause is putting that in the chat here as well. And I did notice that you have a Facebook page and a TikTok account, but it doesn't look like you do quite as much on those. Are you just getting started there, or is that not a place?
So it's so funny, Catherine. When I was speaking earlier about, me putting cameras in my vehicle and recording everywhere I went, prior to my YouTube life, I had no social media whatsoever. So it's like really new to me. Like I was really anti social media before I got into this, believe it or not. So I'm getting like established on all of these platforms. It just so happens that YouTube was my first go-to. So I am in the process of uploading more content on Facebook. TikTok, I haven't logged into since I've gotten a different device. So, yeah. So
Well,
it's kind of one of those things.
I don't know. This is something that you might want to take a look at, but I did a search yesterday for you just so I could have what kind of pictures might show up that I could put in my episode preview video. And anyway, so I did a basic search in my Brave browser, and it gave me your YouTube page, it gave me your Facebook page, it gave me TikTok. And when I clicked the link, it's weird how it showed up, but it showed that your name has had hits or likes or videos or mentions or whatever. Acura Amanda has 3.5 billion hits on TikTok.
Really?
Billion with a B as in boy. My
Crazy.
husband saw that and he's like, that can't be right. And I was like, well, I don't know. It's so, but it was showing all these other people that have TikTok accounts that have remixed some of your stuff or mentioned you or mentioned the incident with the CPS worker getting trespassed off your property, things like that. So I was like, no, this seems to be legitimately all about you. So anyway, you might want to start posting on TikTok a little bit more.
Crazy. I haven't logged into TikTok in so long or checked it. That's really crazy.
And unfortunately, as much as I hate Facebook, we're live streaming there right now because there's way too many people still there. We have 20,000 followers on our Facebook page that still comment and like and share and stuff. So I'm trying to get them all to come over to Telegram or something like that. We tried Truth Social. There's, I mean, even big names like Dinesh D'Souza or, you know, Donald Trump or whomever. They simply, Truth Social just really wasn't getting the kind of traffic that I thought it would. It didn't take off like I thought it would. So anyway, I'm still encouraging people to go to things like Rumble and Telegram. But anyway, so for those of you who want her as a resource, there you have it. She is at least on Facebook and TikTok. Her primary place is right here on YouTube as well on her channel. So check that out. Now, can you tell us, I'm just seeing if there's any questions for you that were in the chat. Sorry, wow, there were a lot more comments than I thought there were. Okay, I don't think I don't see any questions yet. Holy cow, guys, it's so hard to keep up with you. But, okay, I'm still scrolling. There's a lot here. All right, anyway, so can you share, now what are some of the things, I noticed on your YouTube channel, you have on your shorts anyway, or reels or whatever, the small 60-second clips, you have at least one that's got over 1 million views. You have several others that are in the, you know, say 500,000 view range. What are the kinds of short videos that you're putting out there? How are you getting that footage? Can you kind of go into what it is that you do in that regard?
So some of my most popular uploads to my recollection were during the last major hurricane that West Florida has seen. I went to pick up my very, very good friend and a brother to me, Big Nick, South Florida Accountability. And we were in my Integra, and I should have brought my other vehicle because that car has such a small tank. And we ran out of gas because all of the gas stations were closed because there was no power. And I'm just driving and I'm trying to just get us to a gas station. We made it there, but the gas station had no gas. So this total stranger brought us fuel, and we made it to another gas station that had power and had fuel. So all of a sudden, these police show up. I forgot what department, it was so long ago, and they just were saying like something along the lines of, you know, you guys are violating curfew. And I'm like, we don't want to be here. We want to go home. So they just surround us, and Big Nick had this hilarious encounter because this female deputy or officer, Big Nick was like, you know, what's your name? And she's like, my name's right here. And Big Nick's like, your name is not right here, Beltran. Your name is Beltran. And that video blew up. That was so funny. You could hear me laughing in the background. And a few other shorts that I have posted is basically I'm followed around by the local sheriff's department on a regular basis. I like to document that. I have a lot of, I have a lot of contacts. I call them contacts that are in and out of either the sheriff's department or the police department. And I cannot mention names because I fear for their safety, but they have showed me on their computer, Amanda, look, they're following you. This is every single turn that you've made on this street. And it's real. I'm not crazy by any means. I thought I was, but it's actually happening. And they've seen a member of the 400 unit, they're called, that squad, and they literally have pictures of me coming in and out of my home. So this really does happen. I like to document it, and unfortunately I've gotten used to it. I don't do anything. I'm a very boring person, believe it or not. And I'm just like, you know, if you guys want to follow me around, go ahead and do it. You're not going to find anything. I don't do anything wrong. You're going to get bored, basically. So I like to post shorts like that, or I'll take certain preview clips from videos I'm about to post, and I will turn them into 15-second clips. And sometimes they do share other people's content, like Palm Beach Free Press, American Amy. I'm always sharing their content. Sharing is always caring. I love to help other people build their platforms because I'm a person, I like to pay it forward, and others have done that for me. I see James Madison is in here. American Amy, when I was just the smallest little channel, I've had a lot of other channels share my work. I can mention all of them. I'll be here all day though, but I've just been so blessed, and I'm so thankful for everybody just seeing potential and sharing it. So I like to pay that forward to others.
Well, and to thank you to those of you who are Amanda's supporters that came over today, just because you actually already know who she is and you're checking us out. We appreciate your help and support too, sharing the work that we do. As Acura Amanda mentioned at the very beginning, everything I do is out of my own pocket. You know, Lori and I aren't getting paid to do any of this. Times are actually really tight, and we need the donations to start coming in, guys, because I just had to pay another $270 today for my newsletter program that I, use to send out the weekly newsletters. Just recently, we've had to re-up our streaming software here so we could do these. I have other software that I use to put the videos together for the shorter 10-minute clips or 1-minute preview videos, things like that. And trust me, I do it as cheap as I possibly can, but I need your help because I also have student loans to pay, and we're like, this is a rock and a hard place, but the business has dried up with funds doing all this work for you guys. So I need you to jump in and help out. In fact, I have my case that some of you may know about with the city of Ormond Beach. I'm getting ready to file my appeal, but also to slam them with civil lawsuits and criminal complaints, federal and state level criminal complaints against the government officials that have been on my property illegally, that are trying to take my property illegally. And I want to walk you guys all through that process and teach you how to fight back yourselves so that you can do it as well. So please consider donating to that. You could do that on my webpage, restorefreedomkh.com/donate. But one thing that I want to do is I referenced one of my cases, well, maybe two. I don't remember if I mentioned the Allegan County case with my arrest video. Some of you who are already followers of me know that I had a very ugly, illegal, unconstitutional, obnoxious arrest that was live streamed actually on election day in 2020. But that case took over 20 months to get dismissed. It cost me over $5,500 in just out-of-pocket expenses. I wasn't paying an attorney. That's just all the appeals I had to do and all the court filing fees and transcripts. I mean, it's disgusting. Can you imagine all that they did to me in that case, leading me bleeding, bruised, contusions lasting more than a year, PTSD that's still with me to this day, all the thousands of dollars in costs and 20 months and, you know, the hundreds, thousands of pages of appeals paperwork and things like that that I had to file to fight for my freedom. If they're willing to do that to a constitutional attorney, what do you think they're doing to everybody else? Now, speaking of other people who are not attorneys and going through case bullshit, Amanda, can you share with us sorry, I do see a quick question that I can answer. Unfortunately, you're not going to like the answer. Somebody, was it American Amy, said, we need good attorneys. Catherine, can you recommend any attorneys in Florida? Actually, I had found one good attorney. I did. Right here in this area. He was in Daytona Beach. He is actually who I hired to help me when we were navigating an issue, very ugly issue, when we were trying to buy our first house here in Florida in 2021. And ended up going all the way up to the Court of Appeals. It was disgusting. The whole situation was a nightmare. But my attorney was the scuba diver who died tragically on Labor Day weekend in 2021. And of course, the court didn't give me any time to hire another attorney before continuing with their illegal hearings, doing it all by Zoom and everything else, and not following any of the proper procedures. Anyway, screwing us over on tens of thousands of dollars on the property that we were buying. So hence the start of my dealings with the city of Ormond Beach. They like to selectively enforce their land development code and other ordinances here. So that was the one attorney. He's not around anymore to refer to. I actually was looking forward to working with him in the freedom fight in these years to come. But he's the only one that really seemed to get it and to not be a traditional attorney, air quotes, for those listening later. He really seemed to understand. So again, I'm not a Florida licensed attorney, but guess what? It doesn't take an attorney to read the law. It doesn't take an attorney to read the Constitution. It doesn't take an attorney to fight back against the government tyranny and the corruption and all the stupid garbage. In fact, Amanda, what were you doing at the time that led to the crazy situation that you're dealing with now? Oh, we can't hear you at all. Nope. No sound at all. Okay. I feel like we're going to get shaken baby syndrome if any of you are watching that. She was shaking us. She's going to head out and pop back in. But she's going to tell us about a situation that she is dealing with right now. Now, she's in the state of Florida, and she's just an average person, a mom, a girlfriend, just an American who loves freedom and loves the truth and wants to expose the corruption and expose the tyranny. And she's been doing so in a pretty big way. Her videos have even inadvertently led to all kinds of things actually happening, where the House of Cards is coming down all around some of these corrupt officials because of her work and the videos that she's doing. Yes. Okay. And we are adding her back in. American Amy says the law often works in our favor if we just know it. Absolutely. The law, for example, for me, the law is in my favor in the city of Ormond Beach case I'm dealing with now. The law was in my favor in my Allegan County case that took almost 2 years. But it takes knowing it. It takes being confident with it. And speaking of that, can we hear you now? Let me see if we can hear you.
I hope so.
Yes, perfect. Good audio.
Hey.
Okay. So what is the situation? Can you briefly tell us what happened that led to the case you have now?
Yes, so I do apologize to everyone. I've been, just laying low because I'm the type of person where I don't like to show my opponent my card. So a lot of people have been just basically asking what happened to her. So I'll tell you guys what happened to me. I was filming on a public sidewalk. I was so far away from this traffic stop that the deputy was pulling over a gentleman for suspicion of seatbelt violation. I don't know if you guys remember, but I posted a video 1 month to that day labeled "How to Piss Off a Cop in 60 Seconds." I caught this deputy driving on the road in a reckless manner. That video, of course, has a lot of views, so I sense a whiff of retaliation. So I was filming on a public sidewalk. I couldn't hear if this deputy was speaking to me or not, or if he's talking on his little radio. And the traffic on this particular road is just so intense in Palm Beach. It's becoming Miami, that even if I wanted to or try, I could not hear if this deputy was talking to me or not. And I was so far away from their scene. So he basically, what I did hear him say was, "Don't walk behind a second deputy that came." I never walked behind anybody. I was standing silent, and I didn't speak. I was just taking B-roll footage. The only time I spoke in my video was to call out a car number on the vehicle. I was not speaking to anybody. This deputy charged at me. He said, "You're under arrest for resisting without violence." So what I did was I tossed my cell phone and I tossed my car keys on the grass, and I let them put me in handcuffs. The only time I spoke was when the female deputy said, "Do you have anything on you?" I said, "No." So this is where it gets really screwed up, guys, and it's very hard for me to talk about because I'm losing sleep. I've had night terrors. My boyfriend has told me, "Amanda, you've waken up and you're screaming in your sleep." I was hot boxed inside of this patrol car. I don't know how long I was in there for. When the deputy came inside to retrieve something, I said, "I cannot breathe. I am hot. Please put the AC on." I wasn't rude. I wasn't belligerent. It was about 82 degrees outside that day in South Florida, and I have that weather saved for my records. He then again put my seatbelt on, did not turn the air conditioner on, adjusted the in-car camera. He closed me in there again. I eventually passed out, guys, and I woke up to EMS opening my door. I was in the hospital for about 8 hours. My vitals were not normal. My temperature was not normal. And there were a couple other details that happened to me that are very hard to talk about because I was exposed while I was having my shirt pulled up in the ER. As a woman, you know, we have certain woman parts that were exposed. And I'll just leave you guys with this. By any means, no means at all, should a sheriff's deputy take a chair from the hallway, sit in front of your hospital bed, and snap a photograph of you while your breasts are hanging out. That is sexual assault. That's all I'm going to say, guys. So I took it way beyond what, like, my anger level. I took this into my own hands. I am pro se. I'm killing it in the courtroom. I won 2 motions yesterday because this deputy took my cell phone without a search warrant, and I still do not have my property. Today, I'm going to the sheriff's department. I have a signed court order from the judge, and I'm going to get my property. Is the video still on there? I have no idea. But I'm sending the phone to a forensics expert. I'm not even going to power it on. And I'm not leaving any stone unturned, guys. I really do apologize to my viewers, but this situation is very hard for me to talk about. I feel violated. My boyfriend told me that the next day I had a black eye and I had blood coming out of my ear. How can you explain that? Every single patrol car here and in other departments should be equipped with a thermometer. This is not a game. You're playing games with people's lives. I could have lost my damn life that day. But instead, I'm being maliciously prosecuted for exercising my First Amendment right.
Because all you were doing was recording the scene of an accident.
It
Or
was
not even an accident. A traffic stop. Yeah.
So I'm the type of person, I do not show my opponent my cards. You guys can continue to hear silence from me. When this is all over, I will explain everything. I will get justice, and I will not stop until I accomplish that. That's why I've taken this into my own hands. You, and you all can do it too, because nobody will fight harder for you than yourself. Yep.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important and why I wanted you all to hear from her today, because I know that so many of you that already know who I am, that have already been following me for as many as 3 or more years. I've been in the freedom fight longer than the COVID fight has been around. But that's just really where I propelled and put 100% of my effort in. But those of you that have been following me, I know often will look at me and say, well, yeah, but Catherine, you're an attorney. I'm not a Florida attorney. In fact, in my hearing that I just had down here against the city of Ormond Beach, and the prosecuting attorney was trying to argue and question me at the same time, and in this loosey-goosey procedural hearing, and say, well, you are an attorney, and so you should have known you needed permission from the government to do anything on your own property. And my first response was, actually, I'm not a Florida licensed attorney. Thanks. Licensed in the United States Supreme Court, which is where I'm willing to take this to if you want to keep up your bullshit. But I'm just a person here. I'm a mom. I'm a homeschooler. I'm a homeowner. And I'm just a liberty fighter, just like anybody else is here. So, I didn't go to law school down here. I'm not licensed by the Florida bar. I went to law school in Minnesota. I, was licensed in Michigan, still am, different federal courts and some tribal courts. That's where I'm licensed. And my point with all that is I've had to learn all this myself. In fact, when my attorney died and the fill-in judge made this order that told us we had 23 hours to get out of that house, which was illegal, I had to teach myself how to file an appeal in 3 hours in a state where I don't know anything about the laws and had never done any, court filings or things like that. I had to figure out how to do a whole appeal. It took me months to figure out in Michigan how to do an appeal. So can you imagine? Amanda is not an attorney. She's never spent a day in law school. And, she doesn't have, it's not like she's got a leg up on you in terms of legal experience. She's a person, a regular person. And it's so important for you to hear, number one, what she's been doing. I mean, what got her into it? It was a situation where she saw bad things happening to people and fraud being perpetrated, and people were being hurt in the process. And she finally was so disgusted that she said, enough. And she started to fight back whatever way that she could. And when that got ugly, she didn't just crawl in a corner and say, okay, whatever, I'll just do what you guys want. No, she decided to take it up a notch. And she saw people like Rogue Nation or some of the other guys, I can't remember, James Madison Audits, other guys that are on here commenting every now and then. She saw people like you, some of whom of you I haven't even had the pleasure of meeting yet, but she decided she was going to do something about it. And so she continues to have that camera rolling when she's out and about and she sees something, and she takes it a step further. She hasn't talked too much about this yet, but she takes it a step further and does investigation and does follow-up and follows through and all these things. But it's important that you guys realize, you as one person holding that camera, you could have been the person, if you'd been in the right place at the right time, you could have been the person holding the camera when she was being illegally arrested and detained. You could have been the person that recorded the entire thing so she could know at this very moment how long she was in that cruiser without AC on. You could have been that person. It only takes one person to really make some change. Now, obviously, it's better if we have each other's backs, which is another reason I want to have that interlacing and have us supporting each other, like she mentioned, and plugging other people's work and their videos and their channels, because it is we the people. It's not each of us individually that need to put in the effort. It's all of us. It's we the people. And so we need to support each other in these efforts. And one of the other things that I wanted you guys to hear, you heard the story of how she got into this work. You heard what some of the small clips are and things that she's done. You heard about the situation that brought her to the case right now. And she mentioned the term pro se. For those of you who don't know what that means, in some states it's called improper, improper person, pro se. She's representing herself. She doesn't have an attorney. She's not an attorney. She's not a legal professional, and she doesn't have one. Of course, I've been willing to provide whatever advice or cheat sheet things that I can in the short amount of time that I've known her. But even then, I'm not a Florida licensed attorney. I'm just finding stuff as I find it myself. But she is reading the law herself. She's reading jury instructions. There's standard civil and criminal jury instructions that the Supreme Court and all the states, they'll put out their own. Comb through those things as resources. She's finding things saying, hey, you can't have an arrest without an underlying, a resisting arrest charge without an underlying arrest. There's important things there. And, she doesn't want to go into the specifics to tip her hand, so to speak, so the other side knows what's coming. But I wanted you guys to hear from her that she's doing this fight. It's Amanda doing this. And her boyfriend has a similar situation, similar charges. Luckily, wasn't physically in the situation that she was in. But he's doing the same thing. He's in the same boat. He's not an attorney. He's representing himself. He's combing through the laws and he's figuring out how to file the motions. And I guess I'm curious, Amanda, it's public record now. It's already done. Are you able to share what the motions were yesterday that you won?
Yes. And I did want to add into here that when I was arguing my first motion, it was a C4 motion. Unfortunately, I did lose that round, but I have something else coming. I had what I call a friend of the court come up to me, and he was slipping me notes. He literally got in trouble with the judge, but he wants to be a side counsel with me and assist me too. So I'm going to allow him to do that. But me, myself, I'm still going to proceed on with doing this work, and we're totally going to work in conjunction with each other. And that alone is a blessing to me, because he told me, I was like, why did you want to help me? Why? I'm just a stranger. And he told me, because you were in there arguing your C4 motion that this statute is ambiguous and overbroad. I've been trying to change this law at a legislative level because it is ambiguous, and you're raising the same argument that I've been trying to do. And it was just amazing hearing you speak in there. So the
C4 motion in Florida, that's the motion to dismiss, right?
Correct. Yes, it's under Rule 3.190. That's basically it covers like pretrial motions in the Florida criminal rules and procedures. I have the book at home, so I've been that's been my friend, just been reading and reading all of that good stuff. But yesterday, talking about those two motions, the state did not answer to my discovery within 15 days. So I filed a motion to compel discovery. I won that. Second motion was motion to return personal property. The state had no objection. They're just not ready to argue it. They're not ready. They're overloaded with cases and they're just not ready. And I got a lot of I hate my ego being stroked, but I did like that the judge was like, Amanda, you're coming in here more prepared than these attorneys. And, I appreciate that. And, it's very flattering. We had sheriff's deputies that are my opponents basically on the opposite side. in the elevator saying, hey, we dropped into your motion hearing and today, and we're very impressed with how prepared you were. I'm like, dude, I got more to come. I'm just getting started. So they're just so overloaded with cases, and they're just going after people and the public for frivolous stuff. I mean, I think the statistics here in Palm Beach County alone, 98% of cases get pled out. They don't even see trial. That statistic is very high, and we're not going to be one of those statistics. I will take this to trial. I will even go to an appellate level, which I'm already researching. So, I mean, I've never been more excited to go to trial in my life. It's silly, but yeah.
Well, so you guys hear that? I mean, and actually, since they are public record, if you don't mind, Amanda, I would love if you sent me the PDFs that you filed, and even
Okay.
the court order that came out of it, so that people can see another example. I put my own casework and stuff on my website, so people have examples of how to write a motion to dismiss, how to write a motion to compel discovery. I've had to do that in my Allegan County case because they wouldn't provide discovery. But it's good to have other examples out there of things where people have won, and especially if these are examples, I could say, hey, a non-attorney put this together, so can you. Start here. I mean, we don't need to always individually reinvent the wheel. If there's something I've written, there's a brief, there's a motion, there's something that you guys could benefit from, why do you think I put it on my website? I put it on there so you guys can utilize it. You can copy and paste it. You can, why have to reinvent the wheel to fight some of these same battles just in different places or in different cases. So anyway, I'll look forward to that if you're able to send that over. But yeah, so guys, I don't know if any of you have any specific questions. I'm gonna scroll here and just make sure. I'm not sure if this question, American Amy was asking, she said, I thought you said you had a show tonight. Who are you referring to? And I'm not sure if she was asking that to somebody in the chat or one of us. So did you mention having a show tonight and I missed it, Amanda?
I have nothing planned, and I'm keeping it that way. I'm laying low, guys. I haven't quit, but mentally I need some time to heal, and I need to focus on getting one thing accomplished. So I'm still here, guys, but I have to have all hands on deck with fighting for freedom, just like Catherine is over here.
I have to show this comment from Gary on YouTube. Longtime sub to Badass Amanda and happy about it. I love that because in 2020, I had been sent a letter from somebody, oh gosh, which one was this? I think it was from somebody in Scotland. And I want to say that they were an American, but now living overseas, et cetera. And they'd been following my work and my videos and my website and everything else. And they sent me a letter in the mail, and it came addressed to American Badass, Attorney Catherine Henry. And I was like, yeah, I'm the American Badass. That's awesome. So anyway, I see that that you and I apparently are sisters in crime here. So love that. Scrolling through to see if we had any other questions that I missed. There's great conversation going today. So it's a little hard for me to be able to read all of it, but if I see a question mark, I'm going to try to grab it and throw it on the screen. But I did see, let's see. I did see that on your YouTube channel, you have it listed on, I think it's like the info section or whatever. There's a way that people can donate to you and your cause and what you're doing. You have other links for how they can reach out to you, send you information, give you ideas, that kind of thing. So make sure to check out, even if you're not a big YouTube person, maybe you're following us on Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn today, or you're catching it later on a different social media platform. Go ahead and at least peek at her YouTube page so you can see some of that information about her as well. Okay. I don't know if I want to put this on here or not, but I'm going to do that. Okay, so we have a comment from Nicholas on YouTube. File a motion for a non-bar council. It's not a thing. The bar is not the British Accreditation Registry or any combination of those words. I did several videos all about that topic. It's made up conspiracy bullshit. Now, are there a lot of attorneys who have bad allegiances? Yeah, most attorneys are either stupid or they're arrogant or they're just ignorant on the law or they couldn't care less about the Constitution. That is most attorneys. I can tell you that as a bar licensed attorney. But do I have some sort of special allegiance to England because of being an attorney? No, it's not a thing. Let's focus on the fights where the fights need to be. And the fight are things that we know about. There are corrupt law enforcement officials out there. There are corrupt prosecutors out there. There are corrupt judges out there. As far as I'm concerned, as far as the Constitution is concerned, not only were all of the law enforcement officials involved in Amanda's arrest that day, or should they be held on the hook in a civil case at some point, but it's my own personal opinion, as well as I believe what the Constitution would get at as well, that even the prosecutors who had nothing to do with the initial arrest, any prosecutor who has touched her file, who is continuing to keep her case going, any judge who has not immediately dismissed it, they're violating their oath of office. They each have a function to do, and prosecutors and judges both have an inherent role to protect a defendant's constitutionally protected rights. That's their job, even though they're not counsel for a defendant. So they are on the hook. My say, Amanda should sue the crap out of not just the cops involved, but the prosecutors and any judges that made decisions along the way, because we can't each say, oh, that's not my department. That's not my job. I'm just doing my job. I'm just following orders. That's what Allegan County officials have told me. I had 5 prosecuting attorneys that were involved in my case, 3 deputies and the sheriff, 5 of the prosecuting attorneys, 2 district court judges, 1 circuit court judge. I mean, the list goes on. I want to sue the crap out of them. Unfortunately, I haven't found an attorney willing to take the case on. It might have to be me suing them. And that's exhausting. So what are some things, Amanda, that you think people could benefit the most from so that they know the power that they really have, so that they can feel like they can take the freedom fight into their own hands? What are some things you think people could be doing?
Where should I start, basically? You gotta basically find it in yourself to say, like, I'm fed up with everything and I want to do something about it. That's the first step right there. It's just like anything else, admitting that, hey, I'm not happy with the way things are going. Let me try to do something about it to improve. I would definitely recommend anyone, even if you have an attorney, go into your local law library and go in there, get the book. It's over here, it was just $10 a book. I mean, you can't beat the price for the information. Get the rules and criminal procedures of the courts. For over here, it was Florida. Educate yourself. Study online if you guys like to watch videos. There's a video about it. There's other attorneys that they love working with pro se people, and they want to share because sharing is caring. They'll send templates. There's just so much information out there. What I do is I search on the clerk regularly, and over here in Palm Beach County, if you type in, for example, Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, you can see other people, pro se attorneys. You could see their lawsuits and what they've filed, and just say, hey, this is what works and this is what doesn't work. There's always tools out there for you to educate yourself. But I'm a firm believer, once again, that nobody will fight harder for yourself and your freedom than you. And there's attorneys out there, you can pay them thousands of dollars, and what will they do for you? They'll try to get you a sweet deal. They don't want to fight. They don't want to go to trial. Me, I want to go to trial. I want to do it. Whether I'm found guilty or not, I mean, I doubt it, but at the same time, I'm tired and I'm fed up, and I will do something about it, guys. Absolutely. So give them a run for their money. Drag them in and out of court. File any type of motion. Just keep filing stuff. They're not ready to fight against you. They have huge caseloads. They should be prosecuting crimes that have victims that are violent crimes, that are white collar crimes, that are
actual crimes.
Yes, actual crimes, exactly. That's where our tax dollars should be utilized, guys. That's where, in my opinion, it should go to, and not going after people for frivolous stuff, for criminalizing, practicing your constitutional rights. It needs to stop. These elected state attorneys, they have to really double down and say, hey, police department, hey, sheriff's department, do not bring me A, B, and C. I will not pick this charge up. I will no file it. I will immediately dismiss it. Bring me white collar crime. Bring me violent crimes. This is what I am willing to investigate and prosecute people for. It starts at the very top, and then it spirals up on down.
I would say it starts everywhere. Every single person in every single, job has something to do. They must follow the Constitution. So we need to get more law enforcement officers trained on the Constitution and on the fact that we don't get our rights from the government, we get our rights from God. We need to train more of them on the actual wording of our state and US constitutions. We need to train them on some of the basics of how the law protects our property rights, or our right to educate or parent our own children or whatever. We need to educate our children on these things. By all means, if your kid is in public school, do your best to do uneducating when you get home so that they know what they're supposed to be learning, the basics, reading, writing, and arithmetic, and that you could take out all of that garbage that they otherwise fill their heads with. But we need to not rely on any of them individually, but think of running for office. I mean, shoot, think of running for office or going into a profession to be part of the solution. We can't just create some entire parallel society and act like the one that's corrupt right now, that those people are going to just leave us alone. It's just not going to work that way. We need to fix it from within. So don't be afraid to run for office. Don't be afraid to educate your law enforcement officers around you, or prosecuting attorneys or judges or whomever. Don't be afraid to give them the information. But stop into your local county courthouse, or to your city council meetings or county council or whatever. Check those out and see what kinds of things they're talking about. Read the agendas and the minutes, and look at the kinds of cases that are going on. Bring a phone, record things, do your homework. Help. If you're not somebody who's feeling like you're drowning by all the tyranny and the BS right now yourself, then put a little bit of time, money, and effort into helping others who are. I mean, shoot, that day, the day that I was violently arrested in front of my 6-year-old daughter, keep in mind, people, I show up just as an attorney. They knew I was coming to speak with the deputies about the fact that the clients I was there representing had the legal right to be there circulating that petition. And when we weren't able to get it explained and come to common ground on the phone, I said, you know what, I'm hard of hearing. Maybe there's just some miscommunication here. How about I print the law out? I'll come down and I'll talk to you. And it took me like an hour or so to get there. But I pack her up in the car and I drive her all the way down there. And she's just sitting in the car doing her schoolwork and eating her snacks, and then watching me from her car seat the whole time. We're 10 feet in front of my car the entire time. And she had to see me being violently arrested. And then she would not, they didn't believe me, first of all, that I had my child in the car. I tried to get my car key out so I could hand it to one of the ladies that I was there trying to protect. they knew who Emma was. So I wanted to at least make sure she wasn't, she wasn't going to have a heat stroke issue like Amanda had, but it was 56 degrees. So at some point, she needed an adult to have access to that car. And they wouldn't let me give the key. Finally, one of the deputies took it out of my pocket and they got it over there. But then the main deputy took the key back from one of the ladies and said that they couldn't be responsible for my car or my daughter. They told me they were taking my daughter to CPS, that I'm never going to see her again. They're going to start CPS case. They were going to tow my car illegally. They wouldn't let me call my husband to come and get her or my car. They weren't going to let me vote on election day. I mean, it was just, as a mom, the fact that they had already violently arrested me in front of her, and I was feeling like I was going to suffocate in the back of that car because he had cranked the heat on. It was 56 degrees. He had cranked the heat on, but then had all the windows up and then left me in there handcuffed with the cuffs not double locked. So they kept tightening more and more. And I was getting my wrists beat up and bruised badly and bleeding. But I was screaming for them to open the damn window, for them to open the car or something, because I too felt like I was going to pass out. Luckily I didn't, but man, I'm a mom. Amanda's a mom. If we can do that as moms, if we can be in the line of fire, if we can fight back, if we can represent ourselves, what excuse do you guys have? She's not an attorney. I'm not a Florida attorney, but I'm going to fight tooth and nail. And she's fighting tooth and nail. And she's teaching herself. I'm teaching myself. I don't have a Florida law school here walking me through how they do appeals or how they do any of this stuff. I'm figuring it out on my own. So anyway, I'm glad that you guys were able to hear about her and what she's doing, how she got started, how you can jump over to her page and her channel and support her and check out all her work. But if for nothing else, what I hope that each and every one of you get out of this show today is to know that you, whether you're an attorney or a cop or a teacher or a stay-at-home mom or a retiree, you can fight back. You can help others fight back. You can pick up a camera. You can read some meeting minutes. You could just show up in support, because that matters. And as you were talking a little bit ago, Amanda, it occurred to me, I wonder if we should somehow create some sort of self-representation school. Go around doing, lectures and giving people resources and putting something together. We could throw it, as a devoted page on my website. I do have a Constitution app. So I've already created an app and I'm in the process of trying to revamp that and get a new one, better version started. But could you imagine the kinds of resources and materials that we could put right at people's fingertips, even more than the hundreds of documents and videos and things that I already have? And things that you've already done for people. Could you imagine if we were able to get it, really fine-tuned so people can learn how to fight back? I don't know. Would you be interested? Is that something you think that?
100%. And before I do get out of here, because I'm going to go pick up my property from the jail finally, but I did want to leave a message to you guys. Two things real quick. Number one, God will never throw something at you that you cannot handle. And number two, always forgive those who trespass on you. Two very important things, guys. I have forgiven everybody that has done me wrong. I have no hatred or resentment in my heart. And moving forward, that gives me the power to operate every single day with a clear head and do the right thing. So try it, as much as you and I have been done so wrong on so many levels and violated in so many ways, forgive those who have trespassed on you. It's a powerful thing to do. You have the power within yourself.
And just to be clear, guys, forgiving is more of that internal thing so you can have peace, that God's going to handle the situation. But that doesn't mean We're not saying they're not supposed to be held accountable, that they're not supposed to be called to the carpet so that they do not do this to other people. You know, if I had assurances that the deputies in my case were never going to violate the law or the Constitution again, that they were going to do everything they could to understand the Constitution, their oath to defend it, and to make sure that no citizens' rights were going to be violated on their watch again, that would be good for me. But they're not there. They are more arrogant than ever. They still need to be taught a lesson. They still need to be, brought into that courtroom and be sued in an individual capacity. But that doesn't mean that we have to harbor hate for them, but or want to seek retribution. But it is about seeing that justice is done and not walking away so that the next person can be violated just the same. So, would you agree, Amanda?
Yes, and I would also agree that if we have the knowledge, anytime somebody teaches me something, I want to pay it forward. And that is just a wonderful idea to help people in the community that have no idea what they're doing. And hey, this is how we're going to empower you. There's other people out there that have done this and that have succeeded. So I was always saying in my thoughts that if I can successfully do this and win, I want to help other people that are in my same position. Me and Palm Beach Free Press, we went to a hearing a few weeks ago of another gentleman that was arrested solely for Florida State Statute 843.02, resisting without violence. And there was no primary charge, and the Boynton Beach Police Department did not file probable cause or an information sheet. And under rule, I think it's 21.2 for the jury instructions, the state of Florida cannot be listed as the victim. It has to be the officer or deputy's first and last name. And in all of these cases, I know it's technical, but everything matters. The victim cannot be the state of Florida per jury instructions. It's very important. And that's one of the things that I pointed out at my C4 motion. And the judge did side with me on that. She said, hey, state, where are you guys with filing an information sheet? They still haven't done it yet. They just keep violating due process. When I went to my arraignment, the judge was never on the bench. And get a load of this, guys. Thank goodness that me and Palm Beach Free Press were recording in there, because when I went up to get a piece of paper, they called my name. The assistant state attorney that was there told me that he entered in a plea on my behalf. That's right, guys. Somebody from the prosecutor, the state attorney's office, violated my due process rights by issuing or putting in a plea on my behalf. I never had the nature of the charges read. I never got to see the judge that was supposed to preside, and they never offered me a public defender. It was just like, here you go. And I'm like, so you guys just put in a plea on my behalf? He's like, yeah, I put in this plea on your behalf. I have this on video, guys. And I was like, I couldn't believe it. And he's like, yeah, we spoke to the deputy and he's telling us not to cut you any deals either. So see you in court, basically. They did the same thing to other people that are in there. We have found gold. Gold meaning that there are so many people that are not realizing what's going on over here. The judge in court yesterday even acknowledged that, wow, this is the first time in my career that I would have ever heard of this. And she almost doesn't believe it. So I literally have to go in there with my laptop and a Bluetooth speaker and play it next time I go to court, and also submit into, I think it's Exhibit H. I've submitted so many exhibits on a flash drive of what really happened over here. It's going on in Palm Beach County. The corruption is so real, guys. And it's just amazing to me that nobody is catching a whiff of it. So I am going to let you run. I'm going to get on the road, and I will send you a text on when I do get my property. Wish me luck, everybody.
Yes, and thank you. Good luck, and I'll look forward to hearing from you soon then.
Thank you. It has been a pleasure meeting you the other day. You are a wonderful, wonderful woman. I just look forward with us collaborating together. And guys, if you haven't already, go subscribe to Catherine, guys. Don't be a liar, okay? Go subscribe right now.
Well,
Bye,
thank
guys.
you. All right.
Bye.
Bye. See you later. All right, I did want to make sure we answered a question from Diane on Facebook saying I missed her last name to search on YouTube. Just search for Acura Amanda, and perhaps Lori will be able to send you the link in the comments there on the Facebook side. But Acura Amanda, like the car. So, and American Amy on YouTube says, I'm assuming she's talking about Amanda's case, but she's fighting for everybody. Anytime you stand up for your rights, you're standing up for everyone's, whether they appreciate it or not. And that is true. That's why I want you guys to be just as invested in my defense or in Amanda's defense in her case or whatever, because if I'm going to pave the way, if I'm going to do this, if I'm going to fight in the Ormond Beach case that I have right now, if I'm going to continue with a civil suit for the Allegan County, Michigan case, that started 2 years ago, those are things that are going on because if it was just for me, if I was the only person that would get some sort of benefit, that there would be no change at all to ever happen out of any of that, I wouldn't waste my time. But it's not just me, because by me doing this, I'm going to pave the way. I'm going to make sure I stay on top of this situation and make sure to bring that information back to that special magistrate when I win at the circuit court level. Hopefully, I win there. If not, we'll go to the District Court of Appeals. If I don't win there, I'll go to the Supreme Court. If I don't win there, I'll bring it to the U.S. Supreme Court. Why? Because it's my property. This is mine. It's my right. It's not the government's. I don't lease from the government. I don't need to ask permission from the government before I use or utilize my own property in a way that infringes on no other rights of any other property owner. It's mine. So the government needs to realize that. They need to back the heck off, because I'm not backing down. And if they think they're going to come and take my property, my fence down, peel up my pavers, or any of that, they got another thing coming. So make sure that you not only fight for your fight, make sure that you are helping and supporting those other fights. Support Amanda in her cause and what she's doing. If you're in the area or you can make it to that area, the next time she has a court hearing, show up in support. Let the courtroom know. Let those bailiffs know. Let the prosecuting attorneys know. Let the judges know that you're there supporting her. Wear a freedom fighting t-shirt of some kind. That's what I ask when I have hearings in my cases. Wear a Restore Freedom shirt if you have one, or you can get one from us, or wear an American flag, or Don't Tread on Me, or something of that nature that says you stand for true American constitutional values, and you're not going to let them get away with this garbage. So remember, just like American Amy said here on YouTube, that she, Amanda, is fighting for everybody, because anytime you fight or stand up for your own rights, you are standing up for everyone's rights. That's what it's all about, people. That is what it's all about. So I'm going to make sure I did not miss the Liberty Cause. Some days, the Liberty Cause is still trying to get me to run for sheriff of Volusia County. If that's what God's calling me to do, I'll do it. But so far, he hasn't picked up the phone for that. So you might want to figure out what extension you need to dial if you need to make that a thing. So, and Jane Locke, she is my protector in Michigan. She is someone who she's come all the way across just to be at my township board meetings when I served as a township trustee. And they were trying to stop us from doing meetings in person. And I was a new person on the board, and I said, no, we're going to do this with we the people present because we work for the people. She came over to make sure that they wouldn't try to pull any shenanigans. When I would speak at events, hundreds of events all across the state of Michigan and beyond, Jane was usually there. She was usually standing right by my side with at least 2 firearms, if not more, so that people knew that if they were going to try to physically harm me, that she was going to get in their way. So speaking of badasses, Jane is by all means a freedom fighting badass herself. So, but she says that most of the law enforcement officers are totally ignorant of the Constitution and couldn't care less. Now, does that mean all cops are bad? No, absolutely not. But unfortunately, far too many are either willfully ignorant of the Constitution and the source of our rights and everything else, or they just, well, they're just led astray, I guess. Where do we leave that? So, all right. Want to make sure that there were no other questions. Man, you guys have been awesome today. In oh, let's see. Oh no. Sorry, seeing all kinds of stuff happening, and yeah, I don't know who exactly Mr. Henry is talking about here, but my super handsome husband commented on YouTube that they play court like kids play house. I'm assuming he means that the prosecuting attorneys in both Michigan and Florida often will play court like kids play house because they really don't know what the hell they're doing. They might even say on the record that they don't even have time to read a 1-page statute in a 4-month period of time, but instead they expect everybody else to know and follow the laws. So that's very interesting. So I did want to say hello and thank you to our good friend 2A-EDU up in Michigan. We appreciate all that you are doing there and continue to do there. And it looks like, oh, I guess Acura Amanda hasn't changed her YouTube channel to be one of those specific URLs. Lori shared the link here, though. It's one of those randomized ones. But if you search for Acura Amanda, that's how I found her today, you'll be able to find her just the same there. So let's see. Did I find... sorry if I'm passing over. Oh, yes. 2A-EDU says that I'm driving to Lansing now to fight gun control. Amen, brother. Please keep up that fight. Please do fight that constitutional fight and inform and educate those legislators because Michigan's really got it bad. I mean, if we would have just had the Republicans do their damn jobs in the last several sessions in the legislature, we would be farther ahead in the freedom fight in Michigan, but they wouldn't. And now the Democrats are in control and they are literally chasing after every core value and freedom and right that we have. So thank you for the work that you are doing in that sense. So I love you too, Jane. All right, everyone. I think that's all we have for you today. Please make sure to check out the Acura Amanda's YouTube channel and find her on Facebook and TikTok, keeping in mind she's not posting a ton on there yet, but she is newly integrating herself into the social media world. Also, please do give me grace because social media is really not my thing. I hate it, but it's my platform right now. So I encourage and invite all of you to jump over to our Telegram channel. You can find us at Restore Freedom. I want to say it's t.me/Restore Freedom. Maybe Lori can throw that in some of the chats there, but you can also find the link to it on our website as well. But we post there every day, and we love that as a non-censoring platform. But check us out on Telegram, check us out on YouTube, and subscribe if you haven't already. Please make sure to use all the available resources that we've put out on our website for you. It is restorefreedomkh.com. That is restorefreedomkh.com. If you remember that later, if you're listening to this on a podcast or something like that, and you're not in front of a computer or can't write it down, if you Google Restore Freedom later on, you'll find me. The first 15 hits are probably all mine. You're going to hit my LinkedIn and Facebook and website. But keep in mind that the website truly is the hub. We're going to have all of our videos hopefully on there from 2020 and 2021 uploaded, at least linked, embedded something. Very soon, our podcasts are on there, legal documents, links to the Constitution app that we've created, which is available in the Google Play and Apple app stores. We have all kinds of stuff. So please check it out. If you are in Florida and you would like me to work with you or your organization on teaching people about the Constitution, about the law, about the government, and the proper role of it, please hit us up. Let us know. You can email us at contact@restorefreedomkh.com or through the website. But I would love to come and speak to your organization about any of these freedom fighting topics. I just ask that you help cover the gas money to get there, because everything I do is out of pocket. And shoot, if you have any more donations that could come our way, I would certainly appreciate it. But I don't require payment for my work. I just trust that God and we the people are going to make it happen, so we're not destitute and living on the street. But thank you to all of you who joined us today. Thanks, Lori's got that in our, yep, it is t.me/restoreofreedom to get our Telegram channel. But thank you to all of you who joined us today, who are our old friends and acquaintances and freedom fighters, and a special welcome to all of you who are new and joining us today. Please make sure to hit that subscribe and notification button on all the social media platforms when you can find us. And keep in mind, for those of you who might have been looking for us on Rumble today, that we are not going to do live streaming on Rumble anymore, just because we didn't have enough people watching it live on there, and it costs us every month to do that. So instead, those videos will be uploaded automatically right after the live streams. So please check out our Rumble channel as well. All right, everyone, thanks so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. Remember to join us tomorrow for our Wednesday Way to Get Involved challenge, our Thursday 10-minute or less Constitution segment recap video, Friday's freedom fighting tools, and Saturday, where we go over the week's Restore Freedom Goodie of the Week. All right, everyone, have a wonderful and blessed day.